Will, Dan, and Chrissy.
In that order.
In that order. Yeah, well, not in that order.
I am Dan.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yes. Chrissy, amazing voice. You guys rock. Congratulations on your newish album. It came out in May, but it's still relatively new for fans, I think, still uncovering it.
Sure.
You know, what did you guys, set out to do with this album? You had some EPs out ahead of time before this. What was special about this record?
Yeah, I mean, it took us a while to finally commit to actually doing a record because, we came in with the intentions of doing a third EP, and then we were like, no, it's time to actually make this kind of very concrete statement. And we just kind of really wanted to expand on what we had done with our Gravity EP and have a more complete view of everything because, there's only so much you can pack into an EP. So within our bones, we were just really trying to show more of us because that's kind of what we've built everything on is just being ourselves and, kind of just doing you the way that you do you, not how anyone else tells you to do it. And so we just wanted for us and to connect with the people that have been doing this with us for the last 5 years, we wanted to just show more of us and be very genuine and upfront with everybody.
So who, if you wanted to, someone asked you, who are you? Who is more of us, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Who are you?
Are we?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Every day I find out more.
I don't know. I mean, the thing for us is we're all 20 and 21 years old, so we started this when we were 15, and a lot of our fans are around either the age we started or the age that we are now. So, and we go through all of the same things that they go through, all of those kind of internal existential crises that are literally posing that question to ourselves, yeah, actually, who are we? I don't know. So I think that was kind of the point in writing the record, too, is we didn't go in with any intentions, oh, we're going to write this kind of song today. It was kind of just let's write about everything we're feeling every day when we walk in. So I think that was kind of what we were trying to achieve is just let's be very, very genuine and, really have a conversation with everybody about what this all is instead of just, putting a bunch of words on a song that don't really actually mean anything.
You had some 40 songs, right, going into this album. What was it like narrowing those down?
I think it was easier than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this has to be a ballad, and then we picked our favorite of them. So I mean, you kind of group some songs together, and then there are ones that just stood out. This has to be on the record. So
yeah, it got to a point where there were a handful of songs that were kind of in the same realm of oh, this is a more ballady song. This is a more upbeat, energetic song. So once we did that, it was really easy. It's oh, well, that's the obvious choice out of that kind of realm and category of songs. So yeah, it was easier than we probably thought it was going to be in the beginning.
Yeah.
When we had 40 songs just sitting there.
Every time I feel we wrote a song, we were oh yeah, this one's definitely going on the record, every single time. But then by the end of it, it was pretty obvious which ones were meant to be there and which ones were maybe not meant to be there, but just not ready yet, perhaps.
There's definitely some really strong ideas that we wrote for that record that weren't used, so we're excited to revisit them when we start writing new music. So
cool. So it might end up in some formation on the next album or next EP or something like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. For each of you, I mean, there's so many great songs. It's 12 tracks, right? For each of you, maybe you can start with you, Will, going through each of the songs. What is your favorite song on the album? Which one is? It's probably hard to pick, but is it one that you're loving playing right now?
I love playing right now. Roses is awesome to play. That's a really fun one. It's just really dynamic, and it's also just a super emotional song at its core. So that one's really, really cool to play live. Yeah.
What about you, Chrissy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always tied between the same few. Roses is one of those, and for me, it's always Wasteland. I love playing it live. I loved writing it. It's one of those songs where it's I feel most bands don't look at their own music and be I would listen to this if I wasn't in this band. But Wasteland for me is one of those songs that if I wasn't in this band, I know I would still love that song. And
I listen to our music all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too, but I'm I guess I wonder sometimes, I'm probably biased because I like it.
I think before the record even came out, I probably had 300 plays on every song.
Jeez.
All right,
you know how crazy I am, so I'm just analyzing everything before it's even done.
Yeah.
Definitely Wasteland for me.
Yeah, I guess live, I really like playing the guitar part in Wasteland. That's a lot of fun, and Runaway's always fun too.
I usually say Roses.
Yeah, and
You
well,
I
I was
do
hoping,
that
well, I was hoping we'd all pick 3 different songs. I mean, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
He had to
A little
differentiate
spectrum.
himself
Yeah.
over there.
It's so hard though. It's so hard.
What what I know you mentioned earlier, kind of speaking to what people your age, people in their early 20s are going through and that kind of thing. What themes really came out after you picked out those 12 tracks?
I mean, just having something that you believe in, and kind of like chasing it no matter what. Like not being afraid to dream, and chase those things,
Yeah.
even no matter how old you are, how young you are, anything,
Yeah.
race, gender, just do it.
I mean, we want to speak to everyone, not just the people that are obviously our age, but obviously it's very easy for us to connect with people that are in our age group. But I think one of the incredible things that not just about the age range that we are at, but at like the time, like this millennial generation, is that there is kind of this ability to do anything. It seems like everybody. There's so many like innovative startups, especially like here we're in New York City, like all over the place. It's just like things like Uber. No one would thought it would exist 10 years ago. It's like, no, you're in the city, you take a yellow cab or you take the subway. It's like, so like there's just so much possibility, and there's like an endless world of information online now, and a bit like helping you be able to do anything. It's like we wanted to chase our dreams, and now it's kind of one of those things where it's possible for anyone to chase their dreams way more. Like they can see it right there. Like, I can do this.
I love that. And that kind of goes back to how you all formed. For people who don't know, give us a little bit of the backstory about, because I know you two played a role after a
Yeah.
while, but whoever wants to take that question, or you can all share it.
I mean, basically, me and Will have been going to school together since 3rd grade. Like, we live like 2 minutes away
It's
from
true.
each other.
And
I'm the fact checker. I'll
Dan, how'd you meet me?
We met Chrissy through a mutual friend.
No, how'd you meet me?
No,
No, how'd
that-
you meet me, Dan?
How'd
you meet
me
me?
and my friend wanted to listen to her records. so we-
No, you wanted to.
Yes. Yeah.
I was chatting at the time with a friend, and Dan really wanted to listen to the new Cash Cash record with him. And so Dan asked for my iChat address and messaged me saying, "Get off with Dan." His name was also Dan. Get off with Dan. I need to
Makes it
listen to
confusing, but-
I need to listen to the new record with him. And I was just like, "Who are you?" Like, and look where we are
Yeah.
now.
And then
we still
got
ask that
together.
question. Who are you, Dan?
Yeah. Then we got together, jammed, and it felt really good. So we
Yeah.
started writing songs, and then it kind
Yeah.
of went from there. Then we were in high school at the time, so we
Yeah.
couldn't really tour full time. So we started putting our songs up online and doing covers on YouTube, and to get people to listen to our original music, because that's what's really important to us. And yeah, then we graduated
History.
high school, and then we've been on tour
Yeah,
since.
yeah.
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 Was there any hesitation, like, okay, we graduated high school, this is absolutely what we have to do, or, oh, maybe I should explore college or do this other thing? Was there any doubt in your mind?
I was dying to get out of school since kindergarten. I knew exactly what I wanted to be doing. I was sitting there, just not paying attention, just dying to get home every day. So I was ready to go.
I'm actually, despite looking like I'm 12, I am actually a year older than them, so I went to a year of college while they were still going. So that was actually, it was almost harder to decide whether or not to, like, leave my college than to, like, out of high school, at least it's like, that's like a final chapter. It's like, I was like mid-college, and I was like, okay, bye. Like, all right, I'm going. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we all really wanted to do this, so it just made sense.
And it's the type of thing where it sounds like you have to just do it full time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
go full force.
Why?
It's
you
like,
know?
I feel like being a musician, like when you're actually like, when you're going for it, it's like having 2 full-time jobs. Because it's like, it's not even 5 days a week, it's 7 days a week, it's 24 hours a day.
It's crazy. I know you got started, you're writing your own music, you got known by playing a lot of covers.
Yeah.
What's the songwriting process like, even for this last record, what's the process like with the lyrics and the music, and if you go into a studio?
Yeah.
Every song's a little different.
Yeah.
It could start with an instrumental idea that we have, and then we'll just kind of vibe out over it for the vocals. Or Chrissy will come in with a kind of idea, maybe like one line, or even like a word can inspire music. So yeah, we like to keep it fresh. We don't really try to force it any one way. Just any way it naturally develops, we'll take it.
Yeah, and we got to work with a lot of really incredible writers after signing, and doing this. This is our first release on a label. So we were able to work with some of these writers who showed us their methods, and they were all, like, I didn't realize that there could be so many different methods of writing. Like, I remember, like, one stood out to me because it was just so specific. This one writer was just like, okay, so if this is the chorus note, every note in the verse has to be lower than that. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of scientific. Like, I never really thought of like music that scientifically, I guess. So everyone has a different thing.
Sure. And what about lessons? Did you formally train, any of you? I know you took some vocal lessons, right, Chrissy, a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I did musical theater, so I was actually a classically trained soprano. Yeah, like straight up operatic, and then I fell into rock music, I guess, and pop rock music. And I started training with this guy, Jimmy Necco, who sings for this band Hours, and he's incredible. And then recently I was able to start taking lessons with this guy called Ron Anderson, and he's amazing and has done everybody. So it's like your voice is so important to always keep learning about it so you can always protect it. So I'm still taking lessons, and I don't think I'll ever stop. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Will and Dan?
I definitely took a guitar lesson or two when I was like 11 or 12. But
Lesson.
I think it was like for like a year maybe. But I think you learn best like for instrument-wise, just like sounding things out and like figuring out how it goes for yourself. So I mean, I just like put on my favorite records and play to them, and that's kind of how I learned.
I never had anything too formal. I kind of just like self-taught myself a lot. The closest thing was, you know, like playing in school. I played in like my high school jazz band and wind ensemble, so that was the closest thing to like formal training. But I was very like hands-on. I just wanted to figure it out myself, kind of. So.
Well, it's working apparently. So you've been on tour. How's that going so far?
Good.
Been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. I mean, we're currently in the middle of our In Our Bones world tour for the record, and we did the Asia and Europe portions already, which were unbelievable and more than we could have ever expected. We played our biggest show ever in London recently, so it was crazy. And yeah, we're getting ready to head out on the U.S. portion next Saturday. We leave or something like that.
Real soon.
It's
Maybe,
really
maybe
soon.
it's Sunday. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's really soon, and we're really excited, like, you know, to bring this record back home. And we were on Warped Tour all summer, but we only were playing a few songs.
Got some Warped Tour fans out there.
Yeah, Warped Tour 2016.
And so we were able to play a couple of songs, and the record came out in May, so the record was out at the time, but it's not the same as like playing the album tour set. So we're really excited to bring this back home.
Warped Tour must have been pretty incredible, right?
Yeah, we
Wild ride.
yeah
It was
we grew up
crazy.
going to Warped Tour like as kids, like listening to all those bands. So being on it and like meeting them and hanging out with all of them is really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What were some of your favorite acts that you got to see while on Warped Tour?
Oh, the Maine was amazing.
The Maine was great every day.
Every day, so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yellow
They put on-
Card.
and they're also really funny to watch.
Oh, really?
They're hysterical. They're hysterical and inspirational at the same time, and I don't know how you balance the two and not like negate either one, but it's amazing. If you ever get a chance to see him, go see him.
Falling in Reverse.
Falling in
was
Reverse.
good.
Falling in
He's
Reverse
a
is awesome.
Ronnie Radke, true entertainer.
Yeah.
It was very good.
They're great.
Yellow Card was good.
Yeah.
Who else? I'm trying to think of like.
Sum 41 was
Airs.
cool.
Sum 41.
Oh, Good Charlotte was great.
Oh
Charlotte
yeah.
was
For the
awesome.
short time they were on,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like they were there, then they were gone.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we were
quick.
really lucky that
Just
we
like the
got
first
to-
tour we did with them
yeah.
too.
We
It's
were
always
really lucky to have opened for Good Charlotte and All Time Low back in February, so we were able to see them again, and it's cool seeing them in totally different setting.
Yeah, were
So-
you able to connect with them outside of the performance? Like, did they give you
Yeah.
any advice or any
Yeah.
insight into, like, you know, what's it like to be
Yeah.
on the road?
Yeah, the
Back in February.
yeah the first day on the arena tour, like with All Time Low in the UK, our green room was like 3 or 4 floors up from the stage, and like Good Charlotte were leaving right after the set, and they just ran up to our green room to say hi and like goodbye, and then they sit down with us at catering and give
Yeah.
us advice on
One day,
everything.
like Benji sat down and like really like bro down with us and gave us some serious, like really serious like artist perspective advice, like management, label, everyone else outside of you. Like this is like let's talk just as artists here for a second. And it was like the first time kind of hearing that from someone so like, you know, so experienced and, you know, who has done such massive things before. So it was really cool.
Yeah, very nice guys.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love hearing that about bands that have been around for a while, that they're trying to help younger and newer bands
Yeah.
get, you know, with advice. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing.
What about the touring for you guys? You know, you're about to hit the road in the U.S. on, you know, touring on a bus. I mean, it seems a lot for us. It's like, oh, that's so glamorous, that's so cool. But really, what's the real deal? What's it like for you guys?
It's definitely we're very lucky to be able to tour.
Yeah.
Like we do.
Yeah. It is
but
hard to live on a bus sometimes.
It's, yeah, I mean you're with the same people.
But it's
for
better
like
than a
8
van
months.
trailer.
Yeah.
So
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
military showers.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. That's you learn how to take military showers.
And then just everything you need is just scattered everywhere.
yeah.
Same 11 people for like 8 months out of the year. I mean, we love them, so it's
I
good.
always work up a sweat getting ready on the bus 'cause it's like back and forth from your bunk.
If you
to
think
the-
your studio apartment is small, try living in it with 10 other people. For two, yeah, that's literally
You
it.
stacked 2 people above your bed.
Your bedroom is the size of a twin bed.
So you get very used to close quarters. That's
Yeah.
for sure. What about downtime when you're not, when you're in between gigs or if you get to have a time to go home, what do you do?
I sit in my room, play a lot of video games at home.
I don't
much
know.
it.
I try to do a lot of I try to do things because I used to just like stay home and like literally lay in my bed with my dog because I'm obsessed with my dog. But like this Sunday I'm gonna go to the Giants game.
Nice.
Really excited. So
I'll
yeah.
be there too.
Are
I'll look
you?
out for you. Yeah.
I like literally scouted my hardest on the ticket exchange the other day, and I was like, this is the only game I'm going to this year. I bought front row seats.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good game because they're playing the Eagles.
I know. I'm not gonna lie. I might cry. I'm an emotional Giants fan, and it's been an emotional ride being a Giants fan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially lately.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You gotta be
sometimes.
careful that close to the sidelines. Don't get tackled.
I hope I do.
Watch out.
That would be a great story.
What about you, Will? What's your downtime?
It kind of depends on like what we're coming back from. Like a tour, like we just came back from like an Asia directly into a Europe tour with like a lot of flying and stuff. I definitely did a lot of nothing for the first couple weeks, but eventually you get sick of that and you're like, I want to do things. So I mean, just hanging out at home is fun. Like
Me and Will live like 2 minutes from each other.
yeah,
Like,
so I see Dan a
Yeah.
lot. We'll hang out with
we all live at home, so it's like
Yeah. Well, you're not
just-
home enough to
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
justify,
exactly.
right, having a spot.
Yeah, it's true.
So we'll
hang
go
out with
meet
old
up.
friends.
Do you
Our-
guys remember the moment you met in third grade, like what that was like?
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not into music at the time.
Dan was very different.
I was very nerdy.
You're still very nerdy.
Yeah.
I molded him into the man he is today. This wonderful man. No, yeah, he was from Burlington, Vermont.
Yeah.
Burlington,
a lot of
Vermont.
hockey.
He had a crew cut. He
Is that
played
where the
hockey. He
Fur
wore like
Factor's from?
polos. He was very like clean cut. And I don't know how we actually like.
I
It's
think
weird.
just,
We
like
we
I-
seem like the most likely people to be friends. I feel
well,
like.
no,
at
I think
the time.
I started listening to like punk rock music.
Maybe, and then we were
like
talking.
I was like, oh, let's talk about this, and then
And then you're like,
don't know.
I have like an old acoustic guitar. I was like, you should get an electric guitar and you should play, and you should come over to my house and we should start a band. And then we did that.
we did. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then
That's
we were the
history.
coolest kids in 5th grade, and now we're the least cool people ever.
In the no grade.
Peaked in middle school.
We peaked 5th grade, man. We owned that place. We could do anything.
I would tend to disagree considering where you're at now, but I love that story. But Krista, you also do some hair and makeup tutorials and everything on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love beauty stuff.
So what's the story behind that? When did you get into that?
I've always loved makeup, and like I said, I did theater a lot when I was younger, and a lot of it would be like high school and like, even younger than that, and you would have to do your own makeup and stuff, and I loved doing it. I remember in my sophomore year of high school, which is the year I actually stopped doing theater after that, we did Cats, and we all had to do our own makeup. It was the first and only year I made the dance ensemble in high school, because I can't dance at all. It's terrible.
Pretty easy to dance like a cat, huh?
Yeah, apparently I did it. So, like, I just remember, like, doing the full face of cat makeup and putting on the wig, and I was like, this is so cool. And, like, I was already really into makeup at the time, and, like, I loved eyeliner and still do, but that's how I started getting into, like, trying to do, like, teach myself, like, special effects stuff, and I still, like, I do a lot of that on my own time, but I haven't really posted anything because I don't know a lot about it, but it's just a lot of fun.
So you had to give the crowd here one beauty tip. What would be the takeaway?
Oh, man, one beauty tip. Just moisturize like crazy.
Yeah, especially
Honestly,
if you're traveling, right?
See, well, one of the things I found is that, like, and sorry for anyone who doesn't like makeup because this is the most boring thing you'll ever hear, but while traveling a lot, in places like Korea and Japan, their beauty industries are focused not primarily on makeup like ours are, but they're primarily focused on skincare first. They say, like, why would you, it's basically why would you use, like, a beat up canvas and then try and put layers and layers and layers of things over it? Why don't you start with a pristine canvas and then only have to put a little bit over it to make it like nice? And I was like, I guess that's smart. So
That's a
now
good takeaway,
I've been
yeah.
trying to like adapt, like, look into like their techniques because their whole thing is like skincare, and it's like having just like really, really nice skin. That way you don't have to like feel like you need to like pile on makeup. So
Love that. I think
Yeah.
that's a good takeaway for everyone. Okay, one last question for you. Just name your, one of your favorite bands or influences.
Counting Crows.
Oh, love them. Okay. I just saw Adam Duritz last week. He was just walking. He lives around
So
the area.
sick.
Me?
yeah.
Green Day.
Who's mine usually?
I don't know.
Like-
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
Love it. You guys all
love
have
Bon
great. All right. Well, we're out of time here, but we have lots of questions from the crowd. We'd love to get some questions before we finally wrap here.
Yeah.
Bring them on.
Hello.
Hey.
My name is Hansel. Hi, Chrissy, Dan.
Hi.
What's up?
I actually have a question from my friend. He's a huge fan. His name is Justin Urban
Hi, Justin.
from Colorado.
Oh, nice.
I feel like we definitely know him.
Yeah, you guys know him.
Yeah.
He says, I know a lot of bands, they say that every city is their favorite city to play in, but now that you guys are not playing a show, what is your favorite city to play in and why?
That's funny.
Denver.
London's always really special. I don't know. It's just like the shows and I really like the old theaters. They're really awesome. I like Boston a lot, and I like Tokyo. So if I'm picking one from the 3 main continents that
Yeah.
we tour in, I'll pick.
I love Tokyo. I'm gonna have to say definitely Tokyo might be my favorite. I get really excited, but that's also because I just love the city of Tokyo. It's not like just the fans. Colorado's always a good show, you know.
Denver's
great.
always actually great. It's never been
You
bad.
can't tell me he's from Denver and then put me on this
Yeah.
question, you know. Denver.
Shouts out to Denver. You know what I'm saying? I like Singapore. Singapore's really cool. It was the first place I ever went in Southeast Asia. It's a cool place.
It is a cool place.
Awesome. All right. Next question.
Hey guys, so I was wondering how much did your parents support you or your friends while you guys were starting to form your band and your music?
Well, when we were forming the band, we couldn't even drive. We were so young, so they supported us a lot. Like Chrissy lives an hour and a half away from me and Will, so they'd drive us back and forth. I mean, they were definitely a little worried at times when we decided to take this path, but they've always been very supportive, and they still are. Like
I was thinking
our
about this the
biggest
other day.
fans. So
I remember riding in like your van, like when we were younger, and like low points where like we would, we wouldn't have a singer or like we wouldn't have a band anymore. It's just me and you, and your mom would be like just talking about all this like stuff like school, and I'm just like, Kathy, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Hey, and we're doing it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember always reassuring your mom like he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be good.
Yeah. We're really lucky to have really supportive family and friends too.
I love that. Well, it goes back to what you were talking about earlier about like following your dreams.
Yeah.
So.
We're going to take our final question from an online viewer.
Cool.
So Elizabeth asks, what song on the album took you the longest to write and why?
Is this actually your mom?
Forget me.
Is this your mom?
Wait, who is it?
I'm just kidding. Wait, what was the
Elizabeth, but
favorite
Could be
song?
my mom.
that would be "Forget Me Now."
Forget me now, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, I didn't hear the question.
What song took us the longest to write?
Oh,
and
yeah.
why?
Forget me now.
Yeah.
It took us the longest to write because, well, it started off as like, what would you describe it as?
It was like a hip hop kind of song.
Yeah.
It was like darker, and we actually considered having a rapper on it at one point.
I was like, we just like couldn't write the verses. We were like,
Yeah.
this has to be like someone has to rap over this. Like it can't be sung. Like,
Because it was
can't.
too minory for like our usual kind of vocal arrangement.
Yeah.
So then we just literally like, as if you dragged every note of it like just up and made it major. That's basically what we did, and then it was like so easy to write.
But it took us a while. Like first of all, first the whole song started minor, and then we were like, let's just make the chorus major.
And then it was like,
and then we
whoa,
couldn't write the
this
verses.
is
And
crazy.
then we're like, wait, why don't we just make these major too? So that one took us a while
Yep.
to figure out, but we did.
All right. Well, thank you all for your wonderful questions. Will, Chrissy, Dan, thank you all for coming in today. Get the album. It's out now. It's been out for a little bit. And check them out on tour. And thank you guys so much for coming in.
Yeah,
thanks for
thanks for
having us.
having us.
Against the Current.